Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Well, it's time for a word for Wednesday, and that word is team. This week we've been looking at Jesus as he calls the disciples in Luke 5 and 6. Jesus called a dozen followers out from the crowds that hung around with him. He wanted to build them into a crew that could grow and work together. He was building a group that could be a team and really experience the empowerment that brings to our lives. And with that, he sets a model for us for discipleship. This is how we do it. We work together. We grow together. This is how we get closer to Christ and get more engaged in answering his call in our lives, is that we work together as a team. Now, how do we form the kind of team that really builds discipleship in our lives? We've all been part of teams, some successful, some not so successful. We've been part of those shared work assignments in school or on the job where there's always that person who does nothing and who doesn't seem to care at all if the team fails. And we've been part of teams that are dominated by some overbearing person who insists on always being the final word, and no one else really gets to fully contribute. And you know that the work of that team is always hampered and incomplete. So what does it take to be a really solid team? There's a guy named Patrick Lencioni that's written a lot about building teams. And in fact, he contends that if you could build a really solid team, that you could conquer anything. And Jesus says pretty much that about the church. He said, I'm going to build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. They won't hold it in. They won't hold it out. They will be an unstoppable force. So how can we be that kind of team? Patrick Lencioni breaks it down in simple terms. He says, an ideal team player is hungry, humble, and smart. Hungry means that you know that there's something that you want to be able to do, to accomplish something. There's a job at hand, and you don't want to leave it undone. You want to be a contributor. You don't want just a job to pick up a paycheck. You don't want to just hold a position. You want to be able to get the job done. This is the kind of hunger that creates holy people, that brings a holiness to our hearts, because being holy is not just about being a good rule keeper. It is having a hunger for God that says, I want to be surrendered to God. I want to do his will. I know he's got a calling for my life, and I want to answer that call. And so it drives us with that kind of a passion that says, I'm in. And humbleness, well, man, that lets us really be open to engaging with other people, because it's not all about you. It's not all about your abilities, not all about you getting recognition. No, you are able to, in fact, come ready as a humble heart to support the work of others. You're there ready to say, what can I do to make you shine? And you're looking for the way in which your abilities mesh with those of others so that you can really pull together and complete the work that God has given. And in this, we get a chance to really grow together as we support and encourage each other in that whole process, and get the chance to lean on and depend on others. The last thing Lencioni said is that you got to be smart. Now, he means more than just getting an A on a test. He's saying you got to be people smart. You got to actually know how to work with other people and want to do it. There's something so powerful about a group when people really want to be together. I said Sunday that, if you've got a group that just shows up at the same time at the same place every week, you really don't have anything. It's when you've got people that have a love for God, a passion to serve, and who love each other, that you get a force to be reckoned with. You get a power that is combined in that, where you love each other, you care about each other, you're investing in each other. I've known lots of really smart people who could do projects if they got to go away and do it by themselves. But often then their work doesn't mesh well with others. Speakers who are very, very sharp, and they know what they're talking about, and it makes sense in their head, but it doesn't translate in conversation. You see, when we grow in this dynamic of being smart with each other, it means that we really are able to love one another, care about each other with compassion and mercy that allows us to grow in that bond together. This creates that dynamic of a team that is unstoppable in the power of Jesus, holy and humble and in love with each other. This is the model of discipleship that Jesus gives to us. It's time to invest in it, time to dive in and to be the team that God has called us to be. May God bless you today, and as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.